All right. Okay, well, thank you, everybody. Thank you for joining me again. All right, if you just got done watching our previous video when I was calling expired listings today, I also told you that I would be calling for real estate opportunities, some investment opportunities in this video. So let me tell you a little bit about who we're going to call and why, right? So we're about to call a subdivision here in Tucson that is central. That has many times 2 or 3 bedrooms, which is a big quality for people. The homes are older, and they're in a price range that I feel is an acceptable range for a mid-range type buyer, somebody who's looking to maybe buy up a little bit, or maybe even a first-time buyer who's got a little bit more game, right? So basically what I'm saying here is I'm not looking at the lower end where somebody could do some repairs and have like $100 or $200 or $150,000 house. That would be kind of lower end for Tucson. But what I'm talking about specifically is somebody who's got a home that's more like, probably in its current state, probably worth maybe 180, 190. But if they sold it, it could probably go for as much as, 225, 250, 275, something along those lines. That's the kind of neighborhood, well, maybe not 275, maybe 250, right? That's the kind of neighborhood we're talking about. And in this particular subdivision, in this particular zip code, right, people transfer on average about 6% per year. So if you take 100 homes in this subdivision, 6% of them, in the zip code, I should say, 6% of them are going to sell on average in a year. And that's pretty good as far as calling is concerned. When you're trying to find some people who are in a high turnover area, 5-6% is a good average, right? That's the zip code is 6%. Now, this particular subdivision is turning over at 9%, okay? So for every 100 homes, right, in this subdivision, 9 of them sold last year. So what does that mean for you and me? Well, that means that every 100 calls I make in this subdivision, every 100 people I talk to, there's a high probability that 9 out of those 100 are going to sell in the next 12 months, right? Now, the list that I've got, I've already compiled it to people who have owned the properties for more than 5 years. So we're not talking about recent transferees. We're not talking about people who just bought their home. Hopefully none of the people in this list have recently got any kind of transfer in any way. We've gone through it pretty well. They shouldn't have any transfers. They should have at least owned it for at least 5 years. So let's go ahead and give these people a call. I think I've said everything that needs to be said. Let's see what we can do. So if you're watching here, do me a favor, share this on your social media. Let people know that we're trying to make some money here. Real estate investing. If you're a real estate agent, while I'm dialing in here, if you're a real estate agent, definitely want to check out my podcast at the Red Pill Investor.
Welcome to Storm.
What you're going to find is a lot of opportunities over there for you to get free education. Okay, we should be ready to go. Let's kick it. Some free education at theredpillinvestor.com.
The number you have reached is not in service.
Oh.
Please check the number and dial again. S-P-O-K.
Let's see here. Let's delete that. That's no good. All right. Boom.
Sorry, but the person you called has a voice.
Okay. Remember, if you're a real estate agent, this is actually something you really ought to consider, right? I know that calling people is not.
Hello?
Hi there. This is Carl Krenzel. How are you today?
Hello?
Hi, Kathy?
No.
Oh my goodness. I'm so sorry. I think I might have the wrong number. My name is Carl Krenzel. I was looking for the Layman's. They own some property on Rosewood. Is that yours?
No. No.
Oh my gosh. Okay, I'm so sorry. Hey, since I got you anyway, do you know anybody who's got an unwanted home that I could buy for cash?
No.
Okay, no problem. Well, it's kind of an odd question. You have a great day. Thank you. All right, cool. Let's move on. As I was saying, if you're a real estate agent, it's a good idea for you to get into this sort of habit of calling people every day, because the conversations you're going to get into, you're going to find through time, you're going to get better. You're also going to find that you're going to get into the ebb and flow of conversations, and you're going to find out things, right? Oh, my neighbor's selling their house, or we got this property in Sierra Vista, or whatever. You're going to find out about a lot of things as you get into the ebb and flow of conversation. But the problem is, a lot of people don't want to do this. They don't want to talk to people on a regular basis, and I get it. You know, there's an element of discomfort there. Certainly, as I've said, this is an art, certainly an art form that is dying. I don't know that people are going to be calling people as this in 5 years. I really don't know that that's going to be the case. But while the opportunity is here for us to go ahead and call, for essentially free, I don't see why we wouldn't. I think it's a good idea to do content marketing. I certainly do that myself on my website. I just don't think it's a good idea to rely solely on content marketing. I don't think it's a good idea to rely on that as your only method of bringing in business. I think it's a very good method. Don't get me wrong. I think social media, content marketing, is certainly a very good means to spread the word about what you're trying to do. I think that's a great idea. But I do think that you have to be reasonable and understand that it's very difficult if you're a realtor or an investor to convert business. Hello? Ooh. To convert business from the internet. Now, especially when you think about, like, a realtor could definitely understand this. If you think about like your internet leads, your buyer leads that come in, right? Especially from Zillow or some other place. I mean, when you think about it, they've been putting in their name and their number to everybody. They've been filling out every form and whatnot. And eventually they're getting all kinds of calls and callbacks, and people who are who are trying to call them. And so it's very difficult, I think, as an agent, for you to call them and expect that they're going to be open and listening to you, right? So I guess what I'm thinking is this, right? Every day you need to set periods of time in your day to prospect, right? And you need to do this so that you can actively go out and generate business for yourself, right? So if you're filling out your schedule, I'm just going to fill out my schedule while we're sitting here prospecting. What I would typically do, right? I would just go ahead and start off right there. The time you're going to start, right? Arrive, right? In this case, mine's at 7:30. I arrive no later than.
You've reached Melanie Terry. I'm unable to answer your call at this time. Please leave a brief message with your name and the phone number, and I will return your call as soon as possible. Thank you. At the tone, please record your message. When you've finished recording, you may hang up.
So anyway, you want to fill out your schedule at least a week in advance. That way, you know what to expect and you have time to prepare, right? So, for example, I'm filling out mine right here, and you'll notice that I'm filling it out in ink.
You have reached the voicemail box of 626.
Now, the reason why you want to do it in ink is not that your schedule isn't flexible or inflexible. It certainly needs to be flexible, but you need to be willing to work with it. Okay. Plus, if it's not written, it's not real. Okay. And then, I'll just show you real quick. Bam. Okay. So, very brief kind of schedule, right? That I filled out for the beginning of next week, right? Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. We'll just start off with there. Arrive 7:30 in the morning. I usually get here a little bit early. Start prospecting 8 a.m. Prospect, 3 hours, 2-3 hours each day, right? Remember, you have prospecting times 2 times a day. You've got a time in the morning and a time in the afternoon. 4 to 6, 4 to 6, 4 to 6. You could do that. If you didn't have any business, what else are you doing? If you don't have any listings, don't have any sales, don't have any contracts, don't have any money, what else are you doing? You might as well call people. You might as well reach out. What else are you going to do? You're going to stand on the corner with a sign, we'll work for food. What are you going to do to attract business? You have to do something. You have to reach out. You have to somehow call people and let them know that you're willing to buy property, that you're willing to invest. In this particular circumstance, we're calling sort of the lower end of things, but this is where this particular money is made. So what I mean by that is simply this. The money being made is this. These people, they're not being prospected to, typically, except for people who are mailing to them, right? They're not, what is that annoying noise? My goodness, that is so annoying. Hang on a second. That's just killing me, that whole beeping noise. Just hang that up real fast. Let me change it because that beeping noise is just driving me nuts. Okay, so let's try this again. List view. All right, dial. Well, let's see here. How do I do this? Yes, but I want to, but how do I get rid of that dumb? Let's see here. There we go. All right. I'm trying to get rid of that dumb noise, so I don't know if it works. We'll see. That beeping noise is quite distracting. There we go. All right.
Well, Pueblo, this is Ruben.
Oh, hi, Ruben. This is Carl Krenzel. How are you today?
Good. How you doing?
Man, I'm doing better than I deserve. Listen, I think I got the wrong number. You said this was Old Pueblo?
Old Pueblo Restoration.
Oh, gosh. Yeah, I got the wrong place. Okay. Well, listen, since I got you here anyway, it might actually work. I'm a broker here in town who buys properties. Do you happen to know anybody offhand who's got an unwanted home that I could buy for cash? Do you know anybody?
No, I don't.
Yeah, I know it's kind of an odd question. It's wrong number anyway, so I thought I'd ask. All right, cool. Well, listen, brother, I hope you're having a great day, and I hope your business is doing well, all right?
All right, thank you.
All right, brother, be blessed. Bye-bye.
Yeah, you too.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Let's keep on moving. see you're back with me. So, as I was mentioning earlier, if you're a broker, realtor, agent, investor, as I said, I don't think it's going to be available forever, this ability to call people. I don't think that that's always going to be around. But as I said, I do think, while it is here, it's certainly worth taking advantage of. It doesn't mean to say that you shouldn't do other forms of marketing. You should do things like Facebook marketing, Instagram. I think, Facebook in particular is probably better for investing in real estate than perhaps Instagram might be. Instagram appeals to, at least in my opinion, for whatever that's worth, appeals to a younger audience, and a younger audience may or may not necessarily be in a position or desirous to own real estate. Certainly they need to. I mean, when you think about it, if I was to go back and do it all over again, I certainly would think twice about owning property on my own. As a young man, I would consider maybe owning investment property.
Your call has been forwarded to an automated voice messaging
I don't know that
system.
I would want to necessarily go out and buy a property to live. Like when I was a kid, I remember my first kid. I'm still young, right? But when I was younger, when I was 27, 28, 29, maybe. I bought my first home. I can't remember how old I was, but I want to say I was under 30. And I bought my first home, and it was a great place. Got it at a good price. It was a good home. Don't get me wrong. But I don't know. If I had taken that money and I had bought an investment property instead, I mean, ultimately I did that too. But I think as a realtor, if I had done that, as opposed to going out and buying my own property to live in, I think maybe that might have been a better use of my money. Who knows, right? So when I think about marketing, right, and who we're trying to reach in the future, as investors and as realtors, who are we trying to reach? I think it's important to use all the channels you can, right? Facebook, I think, is good in the sense that you can market to people who are a little bit older. You can demographically get to a particular area. I really like that feature. I mean, you can go to a zip code or particular interest or behavior type. I really enjoy that about Facebook marketing. And I really don't think that they price that relative to the reach that you can get. I mean, when you think about it, the whole purpose of prospecting in the first place, whether it be on the phone, as we're doing now, or on the Facebook, or on YouTube, Instagram, or however you get your word out, right? The whole purpose of this is to be able to spread the fact that you buy and sell real estate, and that if you're a realtor, that you can list and sell real estate, right? And anything you can do to... Hello?
Hello?
Oh, hi there. This is Carl. How are you today?
Who is this?
Oh, I'm sorry. My name is Carl Krenzel. How are you today?
All right.
It sounds like I might
What's this about?
Yes, sir. It sounds like I might actually have the wrong number. I apologize. I was actually looking for the Smiths. They own some property over there on Rosewood. Is that your property, sir?
Yes.
Wonderful.
Yes.
Wonderful. Well, my name is Carl Krenzel again. I'm a broker here in town. I'm in my office making some calls, just making some recordings. I was calling to see if you had considered selling this property at all. Have you?
Not a bit. No, I don't appreciate being called about it.
Well, no worries. Well, the only reason why I'm asking is I'm wanting to buy some property in there personally. Do you know any of your friends or neighbors in there who might be interested in selling their home? I'll take that as a no. God bless you, Paul. You're a wonderful man. All right. So anyway, boom. It's important, I think, right? Because you're going to find people through Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, phone, open house.
Hello?
Hey there, this is Carl Krenzel. How are you today? It's okay, it's not a recording. Ah, damn. I sounded too much like a recording that time. Homeboy hung up. All right, let's go ahead and get cracking again. All right. As I was mentioning, this particular area has a 9% turnover rate. The zip code has a 6% turnover rate, which is pretty good. But this particular area, this little square, 400 or 500 homes that I picked, this subdivision has a 9% turnover ratio, which is pretty good. Again, meaning that out of every 100 homes, 9 of them are going to sell statistically within the next 12 months. Why this is good is because statistically, most neighborhoods have, under a 5% turnover rate. Usually it's 3 to 4, something along those lines. So when you find something that's transferring at 9% per year, that's a pretty good flow in and out of the neighborhood, right? And a lot of these homes were built in the 1950s. A lot of these homes, 3 bedrooms, 1 bath, right? And why that's good is because if you're an investor, particularly
520748.
Particularly if you are an investor, right, or a wholesaler, is you get a property like this, you can do a lot to it. You can improve it. You can improve, add a bedroom, add a bath. Many times, that.
Hello?
Hey there, this is Carl Krenzel. How are you today?
Good. What's up?
Well, listen, I'm not entirely sure if I've got the right place, so I apologize in advance. I was actually looking for the owners of that property over there on Rosewood. Is that your home, sir?
Oh, no. It's we're not selling it, so.
Oh, you've been getting a couple of those calls, have you? Ah. See? Yeah, they know. Everybody's up. Yeah, everybody knows what's up. Listen, in this marketplace right now, ooh, that's the way things go because this is a fast-moving market here in Tucson. People know what's up. Sounds like some people have been calling him before, or at least getting mail or something. Holy cow! That was a good one. He couldn't wait to get off the phone fast enough. Oh my goodness. Listen, if you've got some questions, feel free to go ahead and hit that little right over there, that little button right there, and type in your questions. I'm watching this periodically, flipping between the dialer and this just to make sure I get all your questions. And of course, if you've caught this after the live stream, feel free to type in your questions anyway, because I will definitely.
I'm unable to get to the phone right now. You can leave me a message. I'll get back to you.
Basically, I will go through and double check the comments, and I'll reply to all your comments, I promise. And guys, I really appreciate everything that you've been doing to encourage this channel, the sharing that you've been doing, the watching of it. I've been able to see in the analytics, you guys have really been helping me out by sharing this, liking. I especially appreciate the fact your comments, because your comments help me understand better how to serve you. If you're telling me, hey, what kind of CRM should I use? Hey, what kind of objection, is this? How do you handle that objection? Things like that. We've got to be able to help each other. And if you've got a question like that, I don't mind trying to help. I don't claim to have the authoritative answer, but I certainly have a answer. So I don't know if it's helpful, but it looks like somebody's trying to dial in again. See, and I have this thing on Do Not Disturb, and I don't know how people manage to call me in. It's just crazy. Huh. The good news is I'm going to keep on dialing, right? Hey,
Hello?
Hi there. This is Carl. How are you today?
Pardon?
Oh, I'm sorry. It sounds like I might actually have the wrong number. I apologize. My name is Carl. Carl Krenzel. I'm actually looking for the owners of the home over there on Rosewood. Is that your property, sir?
No.
Oh gosh. Okay, I got the wrong person altogether. Well, I apologize. Since I got you here anyway, do you know anybody who's got an unwanted home that I could buy for cash?
No.
Okay, no problem. Well, I appreciate your time. You have a wonderful day.
Okay.
Take
Bye-bye.
care. Bye bye. Right. Okay. Right. Oh, there we go. So I'm also texting people here if they text me back. We'll see what happens.
The number 520-571-90.
Drake calling in again.
Thank you for calling Avila Homes. If you are interested in or currently live at a Villa Marana 1.
Oh, not me. All right. So in this particular session, it looks like there's been at least the last 12 minutes, right? There's been 21 people that
The number you have reached is not in service. Please check the number and
Okay.
dial again.
21 people that I've called, made 34 calls, made 5 contacts. Okay.
Hello, this is Octavio. I can't get to the phone right now. Please leave a message. Thank you.
Okay. Oh boy. You know, I imagine what's going to happen one of these days. I'm going to get a perfect appointment. It's going to be a situation where somebody's going to be like, "What's that, Carl? Our home went off the market? Oh, yeah, absolutely. We do want to sell. As a matter of fact, why don't you come on over?" And then I'm going to pre qualify it, and it's going to be 100% beautiful, and nobody will ever see it. It'll just right here on this stream, it'll be like minute 28 where nobody will see it. And then I'm going to have to chop it right out of there. And I'm going to have to put it all together in a podcast. And then I'm going to have to set it up for people to listen to. That's, I think, what's ultimately going to happen here. Because I'm not 100% convinced that people are overly interested in sitting here watching me, staring at the phone, waiting for it to pick up. Because, I mean, after all, you got tons of things you could do on your own. All right, so I'm going to try something here. I'm going to see if maybe I can give you some information while we're sitting here, hopefully learning something together. Plus, this will maybe give you a little bit of a historical perspective if you're watching this in the future.
A call has been forwarded to an automated voice messaging system.
If you want to go
5
back and see
0
how people used
4
to live
4.
back in the olden days, then you'll be able to check it out here. The news, for example, right? So, for example,
Hello?
hi, this is Colonel Krenzel. How are you today? Hello, Miss Brooks? I'm not trying
You
to.
have the wrong number.
Okay, yeah, I wasn't sure if I had the right place. I apologize. My name is Carl. This is not the Brooks residence on Hawthorne?
It's not.
Oh gosh, see, I'm so sorry. I apologize. Listen, since I got you anyway, do you know anybody who's got an unwanted home that I could buy for cash?
No.
Okay, well, listen, I appreciate you being a good sport about it. You have a wonderful day, okay?
Thanks.
God bless. All right, boom. There we go. All right, so let's move on. Boom, shakalaka. All right, so let's see here. See, here's something that drives me crazy. Okay, so let's take a look at this. This is a good ad for us to, or I'm sorry, this is a good thing for us to talk about, right? While we're sitting here prospecting. All right. Here today, I'm reading straight from CNBC.com. Their headline today says, incoming wave of millennial homebuyers is a major opportunity for the U.S. housing market, says Taylor Morrison, CEO. Taylor Morrison's home CEO, Cheryl Palmer. Hello?
Hello?
Oh, hi there. This is Carl. How are you today?
I'm good. And Carl, who would you be calling in regards to?
Well, I'm not entirely sure if I've got the right place, so I apologize in advance. My name is Carl Krenzel. I'm a broker here in town. I was looking for Mary. She owns a property over there on Hawthorne. Is that your property, ma'am?
No, you actually have the wrong phone number.
Oh gosh, see, that's what I thought. I apologize. Since I got you here anyway, do you know anybody who's got an unwanted home I could buy for cash? Take that as a no. All right, here we go. See, put that as right. Boom. Okay. There we go. So let me get back to this section.
Your call has been forwarded to an automatic voice message system. 5202829.
Go. Okay. All right, so here we go. Taylor Morrison Home CEO Cheryl Palmer sees a major opportunity for the U.S. housing market over the next decade. Hello?
Hello?
Oh, hello. How are you today?
Who's this?
Oh, I'm sorry. This is Carl Krenzel. I think I might actually have the wrong number. My name's Carl. I was looking for the Anions. They own some property over there on 3rd Street.
I can't understand you. Sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay. I'm going to have to do something about that. That's not going to work. So basically, this CEO, Cheryl Palmer, is saying that over the next decade, more millennials are going to hit the prime home buying age. I would definitely agree with this, right? She also said that nearly 45 million Americans will reach the general age of first-time home buyers in the next 10 years, 3.1 million more than in the 10 years prior. So here we are, millions of more buyers available throughout the United States, right? First-time home buyers. But fewer of them can afford to buy a home. the home ownership rate amongst millennials is about 8% lower than previous generations at their age, right? So when you think about it, incoming wave of millennial home buyers is a major opportunity for the U.S. housing market, right? That's what people are saying. But the problem is with so many buyers, they don't have, a will or desire or ability to buy our property, or at least less will, desire, or ability to buy a property than previous generations did. Which kind of hits back to that point I made a little while ago. If I could do it all over again, knowing what I know now, would I really want to buy a house, a first-time home buyer house, as a first-time home buyer? Would I really want to do that? A lot of kids today are starting to look at this issue and realize, maybe that's not such a good idea. Let's just think this through. A lot of the people who were buying property, that are kids today that are buying property here in the next 10 years, they grew up during this recession where a lot of their parents lost their homes. A lot of parents, a lot of the kids saw the fights, the problems, the difficulties that a house payment would bring. And for them, it's just not a tenable solution. They don't want to go back to that. As a matter of fact, as a practitioner, I've seen this, maybe you've seen this, where a home buyer, they're looking to buy a property, and they get their kid to come in and give them an opinion, right? Hey, son, daughter, come on in here. What do you think, right? It used to be back in the day that our parents didn't care what we thought, or if they did, it was just a minimal care, right? Parents today, they not trust, but they seriously consider what their children think, right? And they'll ask their kids, hey, what do you think about this? And the kids will walk through the house, and if the house looks like something that, was in 2008, they're going to have a negative memory of that. And it's very difficult to sell that property. Some people think that that's just a nonsense issue. I'm here to tell you it is a real issue. Hello?
Hello?
Oh, hi, this is Carl Krenzel. How are you today?
Who is this?
My name is Carl Krenzel. I might actually have the wrong number. I apologize. I was actually looking for the Driscolls. They own some property over there on 3rd. Is that your property?
I'm sorry, you're looking for what?
Oh, I apologize. My name is Carl Krenzel. I was looking for the Driscolls. They own some property over there on 3rd Street. Is that your property, ma'am?
Who do you work for?
Well, my name is Carl Krenzel again. I'm a broker here in town at Russ Lyon Sotheby's International. I'm trying to see if I can find a property to purchase personally in that area, and I'm not 100% certain if I have the correct people. Sean and Audrey Driscoll, I believe, are the same people I went to high school with many moons ago, and they own a property over there on 3rd Street. And I wanted to see if they were interested in perhaps selling it. Is that your property?
Where did you go to school?
Santa Rita High School. Sean Driscoll, if I'm not mistaken, if it's the same, obviously there's plenty of Seans, and I'm sure there's tons of Driscolls. But if it's the same Sean Driscoll, well, then that would have been around 1988. Same Sean Driscoll?
So why do you want to purchase our property?
Well, I'm a real estate broker here in town, and I purchase properties all the time. And I was calling through this subdivision, this area. I happened to notice the name, and it just occurred to me, oh, gosh, I wonder if it's the same guy. And if it is, well, so much the better. But it's nothing specific. It's just I know that you've owned that property for more than 5 years. You've at least anyway. You live in that particular subdivision, and that subdivision has a turnover rate of 9%. You've probably seen all your neighbors, putting homes up and selling, putting homes up and selling. And I just figured, statistically speaking, there might be a chance, an offhand chance, that you'd be interested in selling it. And if you are, well, then there's a couple different ways I could help. I could buy it personally, or if it's a really nice place, you want to get top dollar, I got people who could buy it. But that all depends if A, I got the right people, and B, you wanted to sell. I'm not trying to shellac you out of anything. I'm trying to be as honest as I can.
So I'm curious, when you say 9%, that doesn't seem all that high to me.
You know, you're right. It doesn't, but I think when you look at it statistically, and again, this is just from and I'm not trying to, be giving a real estate lessons or anything like that. But I mean, like when you think about it, a typical rate for home turnover in a neighborhood is anywhere from 2 to 3%. And for your zip code, right, it's 6%. And for your subdivision, that particular area where you live, it's currently 9% in the last 12 months. And so what that really shows to me, after doing this for 23 years, is that there is an increasing desire for properties like yours. Now, I'm just going to make a couple guesses and correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm going to guess that the property has 1 bath. You may or probably have not done any kind of improvements to or add another bath. Is that fair to say?
Right.
Okay. And I'm going to guess, again, just I might be wrong. And if I am, please don't be mad. But if I've got the right place, it's probably 962 square feet. You might have added something to it by enclosing a carport, but probably not. So it's probably just its original floor plan, built in 53. Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Now, here's the only question really that's left. Have you guys even thought about selling that place?
No.
Okay, yeah, I don't blame you. It's a great little area right there, and if you're currently living there, well, then it's a good spot. Certainly, God bless you. I mean, you made a good choice. If it's an investment property, well, then I envy you because it's certainly a good place to be too. Listen, I appreciate your patience with me. You wouldn't happen to know of anybody else who's got an unwanted property that I could buy for cash, would you?
No.
Okay, no worries.
No.
No
What
worries.
did you say your name was again?
Yeah, Sean's not gonna remember me. I mean, he'll remember Ricky Seidel. He'll remember Ricky Seidel. He and I were good friends, and that's how I kind of knew Sean through a roundabout way. We all went to high school back in that day. Audrey, I don't know if I ever met you, but it seems to me perhaps that you might have gone about that same time. But my name is Carl, Karl. Last name's Krenzel, Krentzel. Back in the day, I was just a tall, skinny little drink of water that everybody just, didn't really hang out with. It was just me and Ricky and Steve Williams and David Johnson, a couple other guys. So, but as I remember, Sean Driscoll was one of the Cowboys, as I recall.
What junior high did you go to?
We went to Carson, actually.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So, I mean, I don't know whatever happened. It seems to me like, and I could be wrong.
Did you have a brother, Todd?
Well, no, Todd was my cousin and Troy was my other cousin. So Todd and Sean would know each other, I mean, all the time. And as a matter of fact, thinking of that, Todd went to high school with Troy a little bit before me, before he went to the Air Force. And that was, 1986, 84, something like that, maybe. And I might have met Sean over at my uncle's house at a party or something like that. But yeah, Todd Krenzel was my cousin, my older cousin, and Troy was his brother. And we all went to school about that same time. But yeah, he was a cowboy too back in the day. So, but that's a good trip down memory lane. I really appreciate you. And I didn't know if it was the same person. It's a small town. It really is. So, okay, great. Well, listen, I appreciate the conversation, Audrey. God bless you. And I wish you guys nothing but success. Okay.
Okay. And where are you looking for properties? What part of town?
Yeah, no problem. So, I mean, I buy them all over town. I mean, after high school, I went in the military, got out of the military after, going to Desert Storm and all that stuff. And when I got back into town, I was a realtor and I started buying properties. So I buy them all over Tucson. The last one I bought about maybe 10 days ago, was over there by 22nd and Country Club, just south of there by the railroad tracks on Warwick Vista. I bought one over there. I mean, I buy them all over town, but I mean, your area of town, have you guys thought of selling that place at all?
No.
Yeah, I can't blame
We
you.
want to be able to be mortgage free. We
Well,
don't
God
want to
bless
have a
you.
mortgage.
Yeah, God bless you. I think that's a great plan. You know, especially these days. I mean, you got to be careful with your money. You know what I mean? You really do, because it's not always going to be this way. This is frothy right now. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You know, between you and me and the fence
I know.
post, between you and me and the fence post, I mean, this is the time you want to, start stacking up the money and getting ready, because the market is going to eventually, in the next few years, I mean, think what you may about President Trump. I mean, his policies have really got the economy going pretty well, and I don't really see it changing anytime soon. But it can't progress like this forever. And when it does, there's going to be some correction. And that's going to be a spot where you and Sean can go in and pick up some investment properties on the cheap and set yourselves up a nice little nest egg for the future,
Yeah.
So,
Okay, could you do me a favor?
Yeah, what's up?
I'm driving.
uh-huh.
Could you call me back, and I'm not going to pick up. And
Oh, okay.
Just leave your name and number.
Is this your cell phone right here?
Yeah.
Okay, well, why don't I do this? I'll
because
I'll text you my number
I
right there.
might
So you'll
have
have
an
it.
idea.
Okay.
I'm sorry?
I said, what I'll do is I'll text you my number. That's no problem.
Oh, yeah, that would be great. Just text me your name and number, your full name
Yeah.
and your number, because I might have an idea of a place on the east side of town.
Love it. Absolutely. I'm all about it.
Okay.
All right.
Okay, sounds good.
All right. Well, listen, thanks for taking the time to talk to me today.
All right.
And say hi to Sean for me.
Okay, I will. Text me your name, please.
Yes, ma'am, I will. I'm going to do that in just a jiffy.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
All
Bye-bye.
right, bye-bye.
All right. Now, so in this particular circumstance, what we're going to do, right, is we are going to, boom, send her a text. So boom, 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 boom. Oops. Boom, 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 boom. There we go. All right. Hi. All right. So what I'm going to do is send her a pre set text, right? So check this out. If you've watched this far, let's see who, if anybody, is watching. We've got one person watching. Hallelujah, Sean. Sean, good to see you, Sean. All right. Well, Sean, you're going to like this one. I'm going to share this one with you because this one is just for you. Thank you for watching. Oh, yeah, that's right. Get back on here. You're going to watch this because this one is one I want you to share with you. Check this out. So what you want to do is take on your phone, right? You want to create, let me go ahead and get the note, right? You want to create an automatic note. There. Okay. So what I'm going to do, boom, on the cell phone, right? Here we go. So we're going to copy that. We're going to copy something that's preset, right? A preset thing. Hi, Carl Krenzel here. Just wanted to send you my cell number and a link to let you know I'm legit, right? So it's already set in your phone. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to go run back over here and we're going to text her with that information, right? Hi. And we're just going to press copy, paste, bammo, right? And then what happens is it sends it to them. And then if they have an Android, you'll see that it's got the little Google, Google link thing, right? And if they have an iPhone, it'll see it's all blue, right? And that way you can go ahead and start tracking them who they are. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put her name in here, info, right? So I'll keep this, right? Create new contact. All right. And put the address in here. Now, see, this is kind of cool because when you think about it, right, these are people that I have not talked to since high school, right? High school. And you could tell by listening that she was very, very, like, who's this? I mean, what's this all about? And honestly, she should be, because I mean, who the hell am I? I mean, she doesn't know who I am, right? And so, boom, sent off, right? So you think about it, okay. There we go. Resume. Whoops. I don't want that. I don't want that. I want to skip to the next person. So, all right. So let's move on to the next one. There we go. All right. Back at it. Okay. Potential lead. Right, we got a potential lead now. Hey, this is Colonel Krenzel. How are you today?
Fine.
I'm not sure if I have the right person, so I apologize in advance. I'm actually looking for Mike. He owns a property over there on 3rd Street. Is that your property?
No, you got the wrong number.
Gosh, I'm so sorry. Listen, since I got you anyway, do you know anybody who's got an unwanted home that I could buy for cash?
No, not top of my head.
No, okay, no worries. Well, listen, I appreciate you, and I hope you have a wonderful day, okay?
You too.
All right, God bless. Bye-bye. All right. Boom. Easy peasy. All right, move on. So far, right, we've got a potential lead. Right, I mean, that person that I've texted her my number. I'm going to follow up with her because she said she might have something on the east side, and that's a potential buy. She knows that I'm looking to buy property. So she's not talking about listing it. She's not talking about buying it or anything like that. She's talking about something on the east side. So potentially, I might have something we could work with. It sounds like it might be a family member or a friend, right? But with my number, at least we have something to work with. Other thing that we have here, we have an email address from the previous calls. We had called an expired fellow. As you know, he wasn't particularly motivated, but he had other condos and contacts, and he was a doctor here in town. So we definitely want to make connections with him. Let's see. What else have we found so far? Goodness, how many people have we talked to over all this time? Let's take a quick look. In this particular session, we've called 38 people. We made 66 calls to 38 people. So each person had 2 or 3 numbers, right? We've made 9 contacts. We've left 7 voicemails, right? So far, so good. We've been on the phone for 36 minutes with this one. That's not so bad. You disappeared for a while. It's good to see you back. I like the material you put out for the last few years. Thank you so much, Sean. I appreciate that. Yeah, I was actually hired to train agents that for a local team, and so I spent a lot of time coaching their agents, teaching them what to do, helping them out, and so I recently left that firm to go back out on my own, and here I am. And so now I'm back into going back on YouTube and sharing. Plus, I've discovered there's quite a few things that have changed in the last few years. Fundamentally, one of the biggest changes I've noticed since 2013 to today, right? People on the phone. Hello? Oh, wait. There we go. People on the phone just generally don't pick up the phone. And honestly, I can understand why. Because if I did not put this thing on do not disturb, right, while I'm prospecting people, while I'm trying to call, I would say at least I get probably 3 to 4 calls, right? Probably 3 to 4 calls a day at the minimum for people trying to sell me insurance, health insurance, the IRS calling from Pakistan or something. They always call, right? IRS. And then what's the other one that I get? Student loans. Yeah, get that one all the time too. Student loans, right? I've never taken out a student loan. And so I don't understand why I would get a call like that. And so I can get why people are reluctant to pick up the phone nowadays, because there's just so many people who are just blasting it, right? And it is a societal issue. You're absolutely right, Sean. People are losing their willingness and ability to talk to other people. But I think that I would add to what you're saying, right? That people are changing the way they talk. They still are willing to talk, but they're just changing the way they talk, right? So, for example, if I text a lot of these people will text right back, right? Hello, Amber? See, that's what I get for getting involved in the conversation, not paying attention. I had it on the control room page. I was sitting there paying attention and not paying attention to the dialer. That was my fault. The biggest problem is people actually are willing to talk. It's just that they change their mode. They change their method, right? Like back in the day when I was a young kid, we had ABC, CBS, NBC. That was all you had. And nowadays, you got CNN, Fox, MSNBC, a bunch of stuff on YouTube, right? And I hardly ever watch TV anymore. And so I think people are the same way.
Hello?
Hi, this is Carl Krenzel. How are you today?
Who?
Oh, I'm sorry. My name is Carl Krenzel. I might actually have the wrong number. I was actually looking for the Porters. They own some property on Rosewood. Is that your home, ma'am?
It is not.
It is not, did you say?
It is not. This is not the Porters.
Oh gosh. Okay, I'm so sorry. I thought I had the right place. I apologize. Since I got you anyway, do you know of anybody who's got an unwanted home that I could buy for cash?
No. I can't help you. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. Okay. Take that as a no. All right, good deal. So anyway, I think people change their channels, right, that they're listening to. Phones, not quite as, it's like ABC, CBS, NBC. That's the telephone. And CNN and Fox, that's kind of like content marketing. It's the wave of the future. It's things that are to come, right? I remember when CNN, they used to say, nobody's going to watch CNN. Who wants to watch a 24-hour news channel? That's retarded. That's just dumb. I remember when they used to say that, because you used to get the news at 6 at night. Hello.
Hi, this is Chris. Sorry, I can't get to the phone right now.
So you
Please leave your name.
used to get your news at 6 o'clock, right? And that was it, right? And then so when he came along and says, well, gosh, I'm going to start up, when Ted Turner came along and said, I'm going to start up a 24-hour news market, people were like, nah, that's not even going to be successful. That's not even reasonable, right? And what they discovered was that it was immensely popular, but it took a number of years for it to become accepted. CNN was not accepted by anybody really until roughly 1991. The Gulf War is what really made CNN a big thing, because you had rockets coming into Riyadh and Scud missiles and pictures of all this stuff, and that's what had people glued to their televisions. And remember, that was 1991. It wasn't that long ago. And when you think about it, prior to that, everything was CBS, NBC, NBC. Now, take this same metaphor and put it into phones and how you're contacting your customers today. Right now, the telephone is kind of like CBS, NBC, and ABC. It's kind of like what people do, but in the other, hello?
Your call has been forwarded to an automated.
In the same method, we're also, what's the word for it? We're still also in a spot where content marketing, Facebook, Instagram marketing, YouTube videos, things of that nature all have a place but it's not like relied on yet, like CNN. Do you see what I'm saying? It's like a transition in media. There's a transition in lead generation. Maybe that's the way to put it, right? I'm just kind of trying to spell it out the best way I can. But when you think about it, in your media, people transitioned from trusting CBS, NBC, ABC to going to CNN, but it took them 10, 15 years, right? It used to be that you could call people on the phone and pick them up every time, especially when they got the cell phones, because nobody had a landline. Remember that? Nobody has a landline. Everybody has a cell phone, right? So you're calling them on cell phones. And nowadays, they don't even pick up the cell phone. So we're in that transitional period, I think, right? Where it's not as good as it used to be, but on the other hand, it's not completely. Hello?
Hello?
Oh, hi there. This is Carl. How are you?
Fine.
I'm not sure if I have the right person. I apologize. I'm actually looking for the owners of a property on Hawthorne. Is that your property, ma'am?
It is?
Oh, wonderful. Okay, well, good news. Okay. My name again is Carl Krenzel, and I apologize for the nature of the call. The reason why I was calling is I was calling to see, I'm a broker here in town who buys properties. I was calling to see if you'd considered selling that at all. Have you?
Nope.
Yeah, can't say
I
that.
am not interested.
Can't say that I blame you. That's a
Thank
great neighborhood in there. I'm just curious, at what price would you become a seller?
If you want an unreasonable answer, 300,000.
Well, I appreciate your candor with that. I'm curious, do you happen to know of anybody else maybe who's maybe a little less attached to their home? Do you know anybody else in there?
I know that the unit that's to the east of us is a rental.
Okay.
I don't know if that owner would be interested in getting out of the rental business.
No worries.
But yeah, those are the only ones. There is a realtor that is in that neighborhood. She's got her signs all over.
That's
Heather
okay.
McClellan or something like that.
That's okay.
She might be a source for you.
That's okay. I'm a realtor. I'm a realtor myself.
Homes.
Yeah, I just buy them off the market.
Right.
Okay. Well, no worries.
She's sold several recently. She might have some leads for you.
Okay, great. Well, listen, I appreciate your time and God bless you. All right.
All right.
Have a wonderful day. Thank you. Bye-bye. All right. Okay. Yeah, I'm not really interested in dealing
Your
with
call has been
with
forwarded to an
calling the
automatic
realtor.
voice message system.
So yeah, now you can get the news
There ain't
on your phone.
It's
Yeah,
not
you said now you can get the news on your
At the
phone.
tone,
Absolutely.
Please record your
And so when you
message.
think about it, you know, it goes in hand with this issue of prospecting, because clearly they have access to realtors, investors, people who are going to buy homes on the internet all the time. They have access to that left and right. But the problem is that they don't pick up the phone and call you or me, right? And if we're sitting here trying to make things happen, trying to grow our business, try to help more people, it's difficult for us to sit here and wait for things to happen. So, you know, I think at least from my perspective, it's advantageous. Shoot that person a message. Boom. It's advantageous to call these places and get this inside information, because she could have just as easily had said, you know, this is a rental for us. We don't want to. We're tired of being in the rental business. You know, we are interested in, you know, perhaps looking at an offer. Now, so, you know, I guess from my thought is that when you think about all the things that you have in front of you, like Sean, you're pointing out so accurately, so many other distractions, so many other places they can go, so many other people they can talk to, that I think it's really incumbent upon us to go out into the marketplace and share this gospel, if you will. Because if you don't do it, if you don't go out and try to talk to people, if you don't go out and try to spread the message that you can buy properties or that you can deal with people favorably or fairly, then they're just going to be left prey to the wolves and to the predators. You know who I'm talking about. There's always that one guy or two in your office, or maybe not your office, but in your town, right? Who's going out there and just being a vulture and not helping anybody. It's my belief that as realtors, I think that many of us are who are actually realtors. I mean, clearly there's a subsection of people who are not real estate agents, but I think people who've taken it to the next step and have decided to go and be real estate agents and realtors, especially if you're committing yourself to a code of ethics. I think many times you find yourself in a paradigm on the.
Hello.
Hey, this is Carl Krenzel. How are you today?
Okay.
I'm not sure if I have the right person, so I apologize in advance. I was actually looking for the Thomases. They own some property over there on 3rd Street. Is that your property, sir?
Nope, got the wrong number.
Oh, see? All right, no worries. Well, listen, since I got you anyway, do you know anybody who's got an unwanted home I could buy for cash?
Nope.
No worries, no worries. All right, well, listen, you have a great day. Be sure to get out and enjoy that wonderful day today, okay?
Yep.
All right, God bless you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
All right, so, it seems to me like it's kind of like malpractice, if you will, if you're really good at this, right? I mean, let's just think this through. Are you any good at this? If you're good at this, or you consider yourself to be somewhat good at this, hello? Hello? Miss Heidler? Hello? Oh boy, I might have the wrong number. I'm not trying to sell you anything. I'm just trying to make sure I got the. Yeah, that's the old no answer game. No worries. Call you back on another number. Let's see what happens here. Okay, so let's take a quick look here at what we've done so far. We've been on the phone for 49 minutes, 50 minutes. Hello? Kathy? Hi. I'm not sure if I have the right number. This is Carl Krenzel. I'm actually looking for the Seidlers. They own some property over there on Rosewood. Is that your property, sir?
That is not, sorry.
Oh, gosh. I'm so sorry. All right. Well, listen, you have a great day anyway, okay?
Yeah, you too.
Hey, by the way, since I got you, do you know anybody who's got an unwanted home I could buy for cash?
I do not.
Okay, no problem. Well, have a great day, all right?
You too.
Thank you. God bless.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye. Boom. That was that same that's the same person. I just dialed a different number. So you heard him in the beginning. They're like, who's this? The key thing you want to think about when you're trying to call people, right? Try to mirror and match their initial responses, right? I mean,
The number
let's get rid of that.
520-514-6333.
Oops. There we go. You want to try and match their initial responses. So, if they're like gruff on the phone or their voice is kind of low, then you probably want to lower your voice, right?
Hello,
Hi, this is Carl Krenzel. How are you today?
I'm fine.
I'm not certain if I have the right person, so I apologize in advance. I'm actually looking for the Meads. They own some property over there on 3rd Street. The Karkis, is that your property, ma'am?
Yes,
Oh, perfect. Okay, well, my name is Carl Krenzel. I'm a broker here in town who buys property. I was actually just calling to see if you'd ever considered selling that
I'm
property.
not interested in selling.
No worries. I'm just curious. Do you know of any of
Okay,
your
thank you.
Do you know any of your neighbors in there I could buy their homes? Maybe anybody you wish would sell? Okay, take that as a no. Boop. All right. Resume. go. Let's take a look at the interest rates today. Right. So today, May 17th, what are today's rates? Well, for 5/1 arms, the interest rate is 3.6%. Holy cow. Woo! They're practically giving that money away. On a 30-year fixed rate jumbo loan, that's 3.87. My goodness. That's with Wells Fargo? Holy cow. You know, I remember, and I'm not trying to say I'm old or anything, but I am, but I remember.
Hello?
Hey there, this is Carl Krenzel. How are you today? It's okay. I'm a real person. I'm not even sure if I've got the right person. I'm actually looking for the Clivers. They own some property over there on Rosewood. My name is Carl. Is that your property, ma'am? I'm not. Hello. I hear you there. I'm not sure if I've got the right place. I'm not trying to sell you anything. I'm actually trying to buy something. Is that the striking thing about this? Every day I pray. Every day I pray before I get on the phone, and I pray for the people. Because I'm firmly convinced people need prayer, because they're just not all there sometimes. They just don't listen.
Hello.
Hello, this is Carl Krenzel. How are you today?
Why is Carl Krenzel calling me?
Well, sir, I'm not entirely certain if I have the right person, so I apologize in advance. I'm actually looking for the Gottliebs. They own some property over there on Rosewood. Is that your property, sir?
Yes.
Wonderful, wonderful. Well, I'm calling because I'm a broker here in town. I buy property. I was actually calling to see if you'd ever considered selling it. Have you?
If I considered selling it, I would have a friend of mine sell it. Fuck off. Don't call again.
Robert, you realize I have your number, and I prayed for you today, right? You realize that. You know that, right?
I don't give a shit if you prayed for me.
Well, Jesus loves you, and I do too.
You can shove your prayers right up the hind place.
Well, Jesus loves you, Robert.
As far as I'm concerned.
Robert, Jesus loves you, and so do I. I just wanted to give you money.
I don't care one bit. Jesus is not in my life.
Oh, that's okay. But I love you anyway. Oh, boy, oh, boy. I hope you all saw that one. That was fun. Gotta love people. Can put it up my hind parts. I know, right, Sean? Holy cow. Put that one up my hind parts.
Hi, this is Peter Johnson. Sorry, I can't take your call right now.
Oh my goodness. So the interest rates today. I remember when I started, they were like 7.25%. And I remember all the old agents back in the day, all the old timers, they'd be like, oh, you don't know anything about interest rates. The interest rates when I started, they're like 13%. They would talk about interest rates being like 13, 14%, right? And I thought they were pretty good at 7. And that was 23 years ago. And now, holy cow. What, a 30-year fixed rate at Wells Fargo right now is at 4% interest. Man, they're just giving that money away. Holy cow. That's just incredible. What can I say but incredible? Oh my goodness. I could put that Jesus where the sun don't shine. All right. Put it up my hind parts. I'm telling you, man. Isn't that a great one? I'm telling you, Sean. You need to put, first he was telling me to fuck off and all this other stuff. But then it was like, after I told him Jesus loves you, he's like, I guess I better watch my mouth. You better put it up your hind parts.
Hello.
Hi, this is Carl Krenzel. How are you today?
I'm sorry, who is this?
Oh, I'm sorry. My name is Carl. Carl Krenzel. I might actually have the wrong number. I apologize. I was actually looking for the Wallaces. They own some property over there on 2nd Street. Is that your property, ma'am?
Oh, no, you have the wrong number.
Oh, gosh. See, I'm so sorry. All right. Well, listen, since I got you anyway, do you know anybody who's got an unwanted property that I could buy for cash?
I don't.
No worries. All right. Well, listen, I hope you have a wonderful day, okay?
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye. So, I think it's important. I think it's important for people who might be watching, all these people that I talked to. Hey, Ray from Chicago. How you doing, brother? One of the things I think is so funny is that, we're terrified of people yelling and screaming and being like that with that other guy, sticking it up my hind parts thing. But we realize that so few people are really like that. I mean, if you've been sitting here with me for the last hour or so, right?
Hello?
Hey, this is Carl Krenzel. How are you today? It's okay. I'm not trying to sell you anything. I'm not. Damn. Anyway, what we've been doing for the last hour or so, you'll discover that, typically people, if they don't want to talk to you, they don't usually cuss you out or say anything mean or anything like that. They just hang up or they don't answer, they don't pick up the phone, or they'll be silent on the phone.
Hello?
Hey, this is Carl.
Hello?
Hi, this is Carl Krenzel. How are you today?
Okay, who is this?
Oh, I'm sorry. My name is Carl Krenzel.
Yeah.
I might actually have the wrong number, so I apologize in advance. I'm actually looking for the owners of a property over here on 4th Street here in Tucson. Is that your property, ma'am?
No. It's not.
Oh, gosh. Okay, I'm so sorry. All right, well, listen, since I got you anyway, do you know anybody who's got an unwanted home that I could buy for cash?
I don't know.
I know it's kind of an odd question. All right, no worries. Well, listen, I appreciate you, and you have a wonderful day. God bless.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. All right. Boom. Okay. Let's move on. Here we go. Boom shakalaka. Getting some traction here. We've had a slow start. I'll admit it was a little slow in the beginning, but hopefully people have fast forwarded this and kind of got to this part where now we're picking up some pace, picking up some speed, right? So a minute ago we were talking about these millennials being unable to buy property. And I have to be honest with you, I don't know that it's such a bad thing for them not to buy it. I mean, maybe if they bought an investment property, that would be a better choice for them. Certainly a lot more stable, I think, than buying a personal residence. I remember, when I was younger, that was a tough thing to do. So let's take a quick look here. Hello.
This is Jennifer.
Oh, hi, Jennifer. This is Carl Krenzel. How are you today?
I'm well, thank you. How are you?
I am better than I deserve. Thank you. I'm not sure if I have the right person, so I apologize in advance. I was actually looking for the owner of a home on Hawthorne. Is that your property?
Yeah, I do have a home on.
Wonderful. Wonderful. Okay. Well, the reason why I'm calling, I was actually calling, I'm a broker here in town who buys property. I was calling to see if you'd ever considered selling that property. Have you?
No, I'm not.
Yeah, I don't blame you. That's a great little area over there. Everybody loves it.
Yeah, it's a nice area. I like it.
Yeah. About how long have you lived at that address?
I don't know you.
Oh, you're right. I'm so sorry. You're right. Well, listen, very quickly, do you happen to know of anybody else in that area who might be open to an offer on their property? Just, want to sell it very quickly, just be done with it?
I don't really.
No worries. Yeah, it is kind of an odd question. So, okay, cool. Well, listen, Jennifer, I appreciate your time so much. I hope you have a wonderful day. Be sure to drink lots of water. It's going to be hot today. All right?
Okay, thank you.
All right. God bless you. Bye-bye.
Hello?
Yes, ma'am.
Hello?
Yes, ma'am. Oh, yeah, no worries. I'm a broker here in town with Russ Lyon Sotheby's International Realty, just buying properties on my own behalf.
What company is that?
Yeah, Russ Lyon Sotheby's International Realty, buying properties on my own behalf, acting as my own agent.
Okay.
Yeah.
Have you been like trying to contact me or?
No, this is actually the first time I contacted you today. Well, actually, in ever, I should say. Actually, I should say today. I just should say ever. I literally got your number this morning. I'm calling everybody in that little subdivision right there. I'm not sure if you're aware of this or not, but you've actually picked a really good place to live because the area right there is a fast moving subdivision, what we call in real estate a fast moving subdivision, meaning that people in there want to buy it. It's very desirable. It transfers about 9% per year, which means it's a good, healthy transfer rate. People love it. Good choice.
What does that mean? What does that mean?
Yeah. So very briefly, what it means is that if you could imagine a standard subdivision, let's just say the average subdivision with 100 homes, they would probably have a transfer rate of anywhere of 3 to 4%, meaning that 3 or 4 of the homes out of 100 in that subdivision would sell in a year. That's an average, right? For your zip code, right, 85712, it's 6%, which means it's double the average rate. And then your particular subdivision is actually 9%. So that gives you some perspective. So if the average subdivision had 100 homes and 3 of them sold in a year, well, your average for your subdivision in the last year, 9 homes have sold per 100. And what that means is that a couple things. First, there's a lot of people who want to live in your subdivision. That's one. Secondly, there's a lot of people who are willing to sell in that subdivision, and usually it's because of the age and the properties sometimes need a little bit of remodeling, right? And so I tend to find properties in areas like yours and call them because statistically I know you've owned your property right there for more than 5 years. And chances are, unless you're planning on living in there until you die, you might be looking to sell. And if you're looking to sell, I might be a guy who'd be interested in buying it, and maybe we could do business together. And that was the purpose of the call.
Okay.
That makes sense?
Okay.
Yeah, it's nothing ulterior or strange or anything like that. I was just playing the odds, like going down to the casino and betting on black, seeing if perhaps you'd come up right. So yeah, you didn't. No biggies.
Yeah,
all right. No problem. No worries. Well, listen, you live in a great you too. You live in a great area. God bless you and have a wonderful day. Okay.
Thank you. You too.
Yes, ma'am. Bye-bye.
Okay, bye-bye.
Uh-huh. All right. So key thing I think you need to pull away from that particular circumstance, right? Whew, why is that thing dialing like that? Holy cow.
Call has been forwarded to an automated voice message.
Oh.
The number 5.
Turn that down. Oh. So anyway, one of the things I think that you probably want to pull away from this, right, is especially if you're a newer agent or a newer investor, right? People will ask you questions that you may not necessarily understand. And that can make you feel like, the best thing you can do, in my opinion. Hello?
Hello, we are not.
The best thing you can do, in my opinion, is to prepare yourself by having the statistical knowledge of homes that are available for sale and what's going on in the neighborhood, because that allows you to be
Call has been forwarded to an automated
a source of knowledge for them, so they know, what does this transfer rate mean? What does that mean? So basically, that gets them with the thought that, oh, that's what that means, because now you can start to expand that conversation. Because if it turns out, because most people, they're not going to just come out with it right off the bat. I mean, they're going to hold things close to their vest, especially when you're doing just a strictly cold call. And this is about, it's slightly above a cold call, right? I mean, you got pure cold where it's just calling out of the book, right? And in this case, you're kind of going off statistics, but you have really no reason to call. It's not like a justice of assault. So in this particular circumstance, you're dealing with people who are a little bit different, and you might have to talk a little bit more and be knowledgeable about the market conditions, and what that means, because that shows that you have a level of expertise that you know what you're talking about. It certainly helps them come to comfort about why you might be calling. She might have been thinking, gosh, why is this weird person calling me, and for what reason? When you do it this way, you'll find that you're able to. Hello?
This is Angela.
Oh,
Hello?
hi. Hi, Angela. My name is Carl. I have to give you an apology right from the outset. I think I have the wrong person. You wouldn't happen to know anything about a property here in Tucson on 2nd Street, would you?
About a property?
Yes, ma'am. A house that's at 5732 East 2nd Street here in Tucson. Do you know anything about a property like that here?
Why are you asking?
Yes, ma'am. The reason why I'm asking is because, as I understand it, and I might be wrong, and again, forgive me if I am. My name is Carl Krenzel. I'm a broker here in town who buys properties, and as I understand it, that property is owned by the Falkenstroms. And I was just calling to see if perhaps they were interested in selling it. Do you happen to know anything about
Were
that?
you the one that's turning all of the houses gray and cutting out the native plants and putting rocks?
God,
Is that
no.
you?
God, no. No, ma'am. I have no idea.
Okay.
I have no idea who that is, but God, no. That sounds like a great way to chop off a.
About this particular house.
Yeah, no problem. And I'll be if you'll permit me, I'll be as blunt and as honest as I can, as quickly as possible. I am a broker here in town, as I mentioned, with Russ Lyons Sotheby's International Realty. I buy properties all across town. I've been doing that for over 20 years. I noticed your particular zip code and your particular neighborhood because it has a turnover rate of 3 times the average for the city. To put it very bluntly, an average subdivision will have 3 out of 100 homes sell in a year. Your home, where it sits, 9 homes out of 100 will sell in the next year. And so statistically, I'm figuring if I call the people who own homes for more than 5 years in that subdivision, if I call 300 people in there, I'm bound to find somebody in there who's willing to sell it privately to me, so it doesn't have to go through the MLS and do repairs and things of that nature. So that's why I'm calling. And thank you for being so polite and hearing me out. Thank you for being polite. I appreciate it.
I've owned this house for 5 years, according to your research.
Well, at least 5 years. At least 5 years. That's the idea, anyway. It may be wrong, but I'm kind of going from the tax records and trying to eliminate, people who just did a refinance, 2 years ago or something like that. So, yeah, just people I think statistically might be interested in an offer on their home. Have you considered selling that property?
What was your last name? I'm sorry.
No worries. Yeah, it's Carl, Karl is my first name. And if you'd like to Google me, my last name is kind of complicated, but it's easy. Krentzl, Carl Krenzel. Kind of like pretzel, but with a K.
And can I ask where you did this research?
Yes, ma'am, from the tax records. And again, I might be incorrect. I might be incorrect. Do you know anything about that property on 2nd Street? I mean, I know that I'm kind of reaching out because this is a long distance number, and I'm not even 100% sure I've got the right person. I mean, you know about this property. I'm not talking to a stranger out in the middle of nowhere, right?
I don't own this property. No.
Okay, but you don't know anything about this property then?
I know who lives there. Yes.
Oh, okay. I was like, oh my gosh, I really owe you an apology. I'm way off. I thought I was way off. Okay, gosh, I'm sorry. Yeah, so I mean, if you know those people, if you'd like, I'll give you my phone number. Just let them know if they're interested. Reach out to me and we can talk about a potential making an offer if they're interested in selling it. Something that would be fair for everybody. Sound fair?
And you pay cash?
Yes, ma'am. It would be, and just to kind of give you the outline of how it would basically work. I close on the day they want, so they can pick the day that's convenient. I pay all their closing costs, so they don't have to pay any of mine or even any of theirs. It's just all whatever number we agree to goes straight to their account. I take it as is, so there's no repairs. I'm not going to ask them to do anything. I just want a little bit of time to kind of inspect the property just to make sure it's what I think it is. I use a standard Arizona contract because I'm a realtor here in town. Obviously, I have to use a standard contracts. But yeah, I mean, that's like I said, I pay all their closing costs and it's as is. I mean, if it's a situation, I've even had situations, and permit me to talk a little bit further, but if like a situation where there's a bunch of debris in the house, like hoarders or an inherited house or something like that, where people don't want to go through all the stuff, I'm like, look, just take what you want, leave the rest, and I'll take care of it. And sometimes that makes it easier for people too. So I just try to make it easy for people.
All right. Well, I'm sure that, as you said, I could Google you and find your information, correct?
Yes, ma'am, absolutely. And this is your cell phone,
Okay.
I take it. Is that correct?
Yes, that is correct.
Perfect.
And it's very strange that you have it. But
Well, no
anyway,
worries.
I hope you have a great day.
Well, yes, ma'am. I hope you
Bye-bye.
have a better day than I get. Thank you so much. All right. Well, we all know what that means. That means they are potentially a lead. So what we're going to do, all right, is we're going to say, there's that. And we're going to add in the notes, right? Okay. Send text with my number to follow up. Now, she's definitely going to Google me, which is cool, which is exactly why I want people to go ahead and start thinking about your online presence. Even if you have a web page or Google page or whatever your particular thing is, right? You want to have something out there because your customers are going to start doing this. They will start calling, okay? They will start, they will start
You have reached
Googling,
the voicemail
right?
box
So for
of
example, just yesterday, I was at an appointment and these people knew my name, knew all about me, my business, what I looked like, everything before I ever came there. All I had given them was my name, first name, and my phone number.
Hello.
Hi there, this is Carl Krenzel. How are you today?
Who's this?
Oh, I'm sorry. My name is
Who are
Carl. Yes, ma'am. I'm sorry. My name is Carl. Carl Krenzel. It sounds like I might have the wrong number. I owe you an apology. I was actually looking for the Sibleys. They own some property on 4th Street. Is that your property, ma'am?
Yes, it is.
Oh, wonderful, wonderful. Well, my name again is Carl, and I'm a broker here in town who buys property. And I was just calling.
I'm not interested in selling, thank you.
Oh, well, good. Actually, that's not why I was calling. The reason why I was calling to see if you happen to know of any of your friends or neighbors in there who might be open to an. Oh, well, she wasn't going to hear that either. That's okay. That's quite all right. Not everybody accepted the gospel. We got.
Hello.
Hey, this is Carl Krenzel. How are you today?
Who's this?
Oh, I'm sorry. My name is Carl Krenzel. How are you?
Well, what do you need?
Well, ma'am, it sounds like I might actually have the wrong number, so I owe you an apology. I'm actually looking for the McCrackens. She owns some property over there on 4th Street. Is that your home?
Well, yes.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Well, my name is Carl again, and I'm a broker here in town who buys homes. Have you considered selling that home at all?
No, I've been here a long time.
I can't say that I blame you. That's a beautiful home right there. I can't say I blame you at all.
I love this house. I love this house. I got a really nice backyard,
Uh-huh.
Mexican town, nice fireplace. It's
Wow.
all set. I love it here.
Well, God bless you. That's wonderful.
What are the houses going for in this area?
Well, that's a good question. A lot of it depends on the actual remodeling that you've done. Has anybody come and given you kind of any idea about what somebody in the market might give you for your home today?
No, but
Would something like that help
right
you at
now
all?
I'm not interested. But,
Well, yeah. Well, I mean, if
Yeah.
it's like a ballpark kind of range, I mean, a home like yours in that subdivision, could be anywhere from 150 all the way up to 200, depending on the kind of repairs it's had. Ha- have
Yeah.
you done much remodeling?
Well, yeah, but the thing is that if I sold this, then where would I go? That's the only problem.
Very good point. Very
And
good
I'm
point.
thinking, where I'm not, huh?
I said that's a very good point. If you're not, if you don't have to move, there's no
That's-
sense in moving.
Well, that's true. I mean, yeah, I know I could get good money out of it now, but the thing is, like, well, then I have to go buy something else or move somewhere, and I like it here. So
I hear you.
I'm close. This area, I'm close to everything.
Yes,
Gas
ma'am.
stations, the mall, the hospital, doctors, dentists, the whole bit. You don't have to drive 10 miles to go anywhere.
I agree. And that's
It's all right
exactly,
here. Yeah.
I agree. And that's exactly why I'm trying to find a house in there to buy. Do you know anybody in there who might have been talking under their breath about just, hey, anybody who'd be interested in selling? Just let me know. Anything like that? Anybody who'd be interested in just a quick sale?
No, not that I know of.
Okay.
But I mean, everybody seems pretty settled. I don't know too many of the neighbors, so I mean,
Yes,
I
ma'am.
just pretty much.
I understand. Okay. Well, God bless you. I appreciate you taking the time to talk to me. You have a wonderful day.
All right. Thank you.
Uh-huh. God bless. Bye-bye. Okay. Catch up with me, phone. Oh, catch up with me. There we go. All right. Whew. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Still cracking along. Ray, Sean, appreciate whoever's sticking with me. Guys, thank you. We've been having a lot of contacts pick up lately. It's getting closer to 11. You want to think about also how you space out your calls, right? So think about the time of day that you're calling and who you're calling. So in the morning, okay, you want to call your expireds, like your new expireds or new for sale by owners, the people who you got to reach very quickly because they're going to list. Chances are, if they're going to relist, they're going to do it very quickly. So you want to try and get there very quickly. The next group of people that I would probably consider talking to would be your older expireds, older cancels. And then after that, just listed, just solds. Center of influence interspersed in between all that is certainly a good idea. Those are all good ideas when you're prospecting. Let's see.
Hello?
Hey, this is Carl Krenzel. How are you today?
Who's calling?
Oh, yes, ma'am. My name is Carl Krenzel. I might have the wrong number. I apologize. I was actually looking for the owner of a home on 3rd Street. Is that your home?
No,
Oh.
you've got the wrong number.
Oh, gosh. I'm so sorry. Okay, no worries. Well, since I've got you anyway, do you know anybody who's got an unwanted home that I could buy for cash? A simple no would have done, but that's okay. I won't hold it against you. All right. All right, guys, we're coming into the last
Please leave your message
last
for
couple minutes here.
52048177551.
Drop a voicemail right there. Coming in the last couple minutes here of our prospecting session. Every day, I try to prospect from 8 to 11. And then in the afternoons, potentially, I will also prospect. So if you are joining me for the very first time, I appreciate it. Thank you. I would ask that you give me a thumbs up, a like there, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. That way, YouTube will let you know the very next time I'm prospecting. And that way, you can prospect with me. You can hold yourself accountable. Hold yourself accountable, right? Stop screwing around. Stop making excuses as to why you can't make things happen.
Hello.
Hey there, this is Carl. How are you today?
What's up, Carl?
Well, I'm not sure if I've got the right place, so let me give you an apology in advance. Fair enough. I'm looking for the Rodriguezes. They own some property on Jefferson. Is that your property?
No.
Oh gosh, yeah. See, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to get the wrong number there. Quick, do you know of anybody who's got an unwanted property I could buy for cash? Take that as a no. All right. All right. Hey guys, how are you today?
I'm doing good.
Talk to you
And how
tomorrow.
are you, Carl?
I'm doing very well. Hang on just one second.
Okay.
Let's see. All right, guys. Going to go ahead and pop off this phone call. I've got to talk to these people here. I will catch you tomorrow morning, 8 a.m. sharp. Don't miss it. I will see you then. Have a powerful sales day. Bye-bye.